Hello, welcome to Kristi's Cropping and Creating. I am Kristi Boland, a Creative Memories Advisor in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I love doing what I do to help people with their scrapbooks, and I appreciate you watching this video. I'm going to teach a really fun way to copycat a project recipe that you like using a different set of papers than what the recipe comes with, and it should be fast and easy. And I also wanted to say happy Halloween. I hope that you have a really safe and fun evening because I am airing this on Halloween. And I wanted to show you a special that you're going to have to hurry if you want to get it because it is going to run out tomorrow, Friday, November 1st at noon Central or 1 p.m. Eastern. And that is a spin get promo. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my desktop so that I can show you the things that we have. Okay, so if you spend $100, you get to choose one of 4 albums for free. You can get the 10-year anniversary album cover, you can get the Enchanted Snow Globe cover, the Cookie Exchange cover, or the Christmas on the Coast. They're all really pretty, and you can choose one for every $100 you spend. And again, that is going to end on Friday, November 1st at 1 o'clock Eastern. Sorry, I didn't give you that Central Time like I did the first time. So let me find a place to put my iPad, and then I'm going to dive in on the project recipe. So this is the sample. I did this with This Life collection. I used the This Life Crafted papers, and I also used the tonal collection from This Life, and actually I used the designer papers as well because I wanted this fun heart-shaped border trim. So this is a really simple project recipe. I will show you at the end what I was copying because I just wanted to make it really clear how easy it is when you find a recipe that you like. You can always change it up with your own papers. So that was my goal for today. I am going to use this same collection of papers as well as my decorative trimmer, and this is going away. If you want one, you will not be able to get it on my website. You're going to have to find an advisor that has it. Obviously, I am an advisor, and if you do not have one, I would love for you to contact me, and I would be happy to help you find the things that you need. My website is creativememories.com/user/KRISTIBOLIN. If you need to email me for any reason, you can email me at KRISTIBOLIN@gmail.com. And I do teach a weekly subscription class. That class is called Kristi's Croppers. It is a subscription group. I just said that. We meet on Wednesdays at 7:30. If you want to join in and you can't watch live, you can always watch the recordings because those will be available for you. And so just reach out to me, email me, and ask me about joining that group. It's really inexpensive. It's about $2 per class per quarter. Um, well, it's about $2 per class because it meets weekly. And then I have people pay me quarterly so that I don't have to collect your money each and every week. But I would love for you to reach out and let me know. You can also contact your advisor. If you do already have an advisor, you can contact him or her to find out about any of the products that I'm going to be using. So this is going to be my base. I've already told you we're going to use this because I couldn't decide exactly how to mimic the cut that needs to be done to completely copy this project recipe, but I'm going to use this swell on my decorative trimmer. And I'm going to use the orange. It's got a little bit of a wave to it, which is kind of interesting since I'm using that swell. The back is the crafted look again. And I have a piece of crafted cardstock to match the opposite page. Then this will be my orange on the opposite page from the one that I cut as my swell. And I am going to use this avocado green cardstock that is going to make my photo mats and the trim strips that I need. The trim strips, like the hearts right here, will be in this green, and then I'll have the photo mat. So I didn't make my photo mats out of that heart paper, so I did use a few more pieces of paper, but I was also using scraps to make this one. And that's another great thing about having a project recipe, is that a lot of times you can end up using scraps to make what you want to make. Now, there may be a little bit better way to figure out how to get this measured exactly, but I am going to use this trimmer, and I'm going to use a ruler that I have. And I'm going to pull this arm out 1 second and see if I'm even close. So according to the ruler, I am at the 6-inch mark, or almost at the 6-inch mark. And since I'm cutting from here, I believe that will be about 6 inches. But if I mess up, I will maybe need to end up trimming a little bit more. And if I put this ruler, the 6 is coming all the way over to the edge of this this blade. So I think that's going to be where I need it to be. But again, I'll just trim it a little bit more if I end up needing to. And one thing I want to point out on this decorative trimmer, you don't line your paper all the way up to the top or all the way down to the bottom. You want to leave, it's kind of hard to show, that it's the equivalent of one grid. There's grid marks on this trimmer on the base of it. And the reason is that way this swell will be right in the center. So in other words, this bed of this decorative trimmer is actually a little bit wider than 12 inches. It's probably 12 and a half. And so that's why I'm allowing that space up at the top and the space at the bottom. And as long as it's straight across through it, I should be okay. All right, so I'm going to cut my piece, and this piece will be the back side of the right page, or it is I'm going to turn it to the back, and it will be my right page, and then this will be my left page. So it works out with just that one cut. I do get the opposite effect that I needed. I got some sort of crease on that. So one will have the swell in the middle. The other one will have the dip in the middle. And that's exactly what I want according to the project recipe, even though with the project recipe, it went more like this, like it was almost like a rounded top and then a rounded dip. But I don't know. Well, it was a printed piece of paper, so I guess technically they didn't make it that way. This piece that will go, sorry, I can't get my fingers to work here. Let me pull this base over to the side, and I'm going to center it on my 13-inch mat. I do have two 13-inch mats. I like to work this way. Sometimes I do need to push my pieces together to make sure I'm lining things up exactly right. But I also like having the lines and the measurements on both sides. So that's why I am doing it like that. All right, so this will be like this. This piece is going to go up here at the top on the opposite side, but it only needs to be 10 inches wide. So it's not the full width. So I'm gonna get my 12-inch trimmer out, and this is already cut at 6 inches width. That is the width that you need it to be. And now I'm just going to trim off 2 inches off of this side. And I will sit it here at the top for now. I'm going to get my other orange colored piece. And if you have part of it that you like better than the other, figure out which half you're going to use. You're just going to use 6 inches. The back of this, you know what? I might end up using the back of this for the orange one. The green one I didn't want to use the back of because it was 2 different shades. It was a different shade of green polka dots. And I think I'm going to like the polka dot on this piece, since I don't have polka dots over here that would be contrasting with it. Contrast may not be the exact words that I'm looking for, but whatever. Now I'm going to trim this 6 by 12 piece also down to 6 by 10 because it only needs to be that width. I will put it over here at the top. Now, this is where the instructions in the project recipe are really going to be useful. It does take an entire sheet of 12 by 12 paper. It could be designer paper or cardstock like what I'm going to use. And I am going to start making my cuts that are on my instruction sheet. So my first cut is going to be at 4 inches. My second cut is going to be at 4 inches. So this was first, this one is second, and this one is third. And I'm going to work with my third piece first. I'm going to trim it down to 10 inches so that it will only be 4 by 10 instead of 4 by 12. This piece I can hang on. I did not put it on my sample that I created today, but I will show you a sample that does have it. And now I'm going to take my 4-inch piece and I'm going to make 4 1-inch strips out of it. So there's one. Just when you line it up on your trimmer, just make sure you're getting it straight. That's the only thing. It's got a lot of fail safes in there to make sure that it is straight, but also I like to really double check. And as you can see, as I cut each piece, I'm kind of going ahead and setting it into place. There is, you don't have to do it the way I'm doing it, but I am doing it that way. And now, since it's really kind of tight in the nothing really to hang on to, I was just making sure by pushing down on the blade that I was going to get that straight. So this will go up here. This will go down here. All right. One of those 4-inch pieces that I cut, I'm going to cut into thirds. So I will make 3 4-inch squares. 1, 2, 3. That's easy. And then the first one is going to be cut in half. So I'll end up with 2 4 by 6 rectangles. These are our photo mats. And I'll put these back over here. I'm pretty sure I can put my trimmer to the side. And now I can start adhering everything. And I'm going to start with my 1-inch by 10-inch trim pieces. and get some adhesive on these. They will go 1 inch from the side, so I'll line it up at the one at the top of my mat over to the 11, so 1 inch from either side, and it does go all the way at the top. I'm going to adhere this bottom one. It will also go 1 inch from either side. So starting at the 1, going over to the 11, lined up along the bottom of your page. Next, I'm going to put my craft cardstock, my craft color cardstock, and I will line it up at the bottom. Whoops, I'm knocking things off my table here. At the bottom of my green, my avocado green, I will take my next piece, and this piece is the piece that's the entire width of your layout. So it's really easy in that it's going to go the full width of the page, but you'll start at the top of your trim strip, and so you'll be covering some of this. I guess I could have cut that smaller than 6 inches, but I didn't want to risk it not being wide enough to be covered by these dips in the layout. So these will go here eventually, and we'll come back to that. Now I'm coming to my right page. Notice I turned over my cardstock as if it has a right side and a wrong side. I find myself doing that all the time, and I'm laugh at myself all the time for making that mistake. But hey, it is what it is, right? Sometimes you just get so used to turning things. Oh, you know what? I was not worried about this being straight for a minute there, but it really does need to be if I'm going to use those ruler markings on my mat. So got it straight again. Now I'm going to go back up to the top of the page and go right along the edge, but start at the 1 and end at the 11, since it's 1 inch less narrow than the base page itself. You can do this directly on a scrapbook page. You don't have to use a base paper like I'm using with this beige cardstock. The advantage of using the cardstock is that it can either be dropped into one of our top loading sleeves, or it can be adhered to a scrapbook page once you know where you're going to be using it at in your scrapbook. Of course, I'm referring to if you're doing pages ahead of time without pictures in mind. And you know what? I should have made myself print some pictures to go on this layout. That's one of the things I want to start doing. I want to start actually adding photos more in my classes than I have been, but oh well, I guess can't do it right now. Because I don't want to keep y'all all evening. Y'all have got candy to hand out and fun to have. Maybe you've even got some costume parties to go to, unless you've already been to those this past weekend. I know a lot of people had fun things this past weekend for the adults, since tonight is more about the kids. I started to put on a little costume myself to start filming this, but it's not about what I look like anyway. And pardon my sniffles. I've been getting over a cold, which is one of the reasons I didn't get to tape last week. I had a crop retreat and I got sick. So it was too much to try to focus on my crop retreat and also have whatever illness I have/had. I do think that it was just a bad cold, but It might have been a little more than that. I'm really not sure. I never had a fever or anything. I just had chest congestion and sniffles. All right. I also lost my voice. That was another good reason to not try to tape. So I am just kind of airing, eyeing this. I'm getting it about 3/4 of an inch from the edge of the craft cardstock up here, and I'm leaving about 3/4 to a half an inch in between. You know, I'm not so sure. I think one of these is crooked, and I don't know which one. It might be this one. Let me pry up the bottom of it to get it a little bit better here. I'm just not I don't like taking the time to like make sure everything is perfect. Should do it more than I do though. All right, so putting my adhesive on my photo mats. And of course, this could also be used as a journaling box. The top one is actually going to be slightly, it not quite in the middle of the upper page, but also not fully to the left or the right. Does that make sense? So you're not really going to be splitting the difference in the distance here, nor are you going to be making it split the distance of these two. And you'll see a little bit better what I mean once I get these adhered. And technically, these should match the bottom of the photos that are over on the left-hand page. And so it'll be kind of like this. So this is what I mean, how that would not be in the middle of that. It's just kind of a little bit heavy to the left, I guess you could say. And that's according to the project recipe. Now, in the project recipe, this piece that's left over, it's not just this solid cardstock, but since I use cardstock for mine, it's not going to be quite as fun. But in the recipe, it's kind of tucked in like this, and it's got a little bit of a design on it. And it can be used as a journaling box, even though I've got solid cardstock here. I could put some lines on there, or I could use a dark pen and write my journaling. I could even put some embellishments on here to fancy that up a little bit. I'm not literally going to adhere it right now since I don't know that I'll use it this way. I'm just kind of tucking it in. But if you want to use it as an accent design piece, you certainly can. So I'm just noticing, I just looked up at the camera and, or my computer screen, I should say. And with me using these tonal colors, this looks kind of boring, but it's going to end up working with what I'm intending to use it on. And this orange has a little bit of a wavy design. So does this craft paper. This orange has the polka dots. So I promise it's not quite as boring. See those wavy designs? It's not quite as boring as it looks on the computer screen. There's the polka dots up at the top. So here is my finished layout. I told y'all I thought it would be really quick. And I'm wondering, I wish this was an interactive thing so that I could ask, does anybody know what project recipe this came from? All right, here's my sample again. So here's the sample. Here's the one I just completed in front of you guys. And it was from the This Life Simple Page Kit number 6. So if you have not tried these simple page kits, they are amazing. For $5.50, you get all the paper in the kit that you need, which essentially is 3 sheets of paper. It's your background, and then this piece of paper that is numbered, and it tells you where to cut your paper. In my case, I just knew the measurements. I knew that was going to be a 4 inch by 6 inch photo mat. I knew that this one was going to be a 4x4 square. And then I figured out, well, that leaves 4 inches left over, and I'm cutting off 2 inches so that they won't go the full width of the page. So you can figure these out really easily. And again, these kits are just $5.50, and it even comes with I'm going to show you my completed simple page kit number 6, and then I'm going to grab the sticker strip out of here. So some of the stickers have been used on this layout because I used them right here to trim this. And this sticker strip alone would be worth $3. So it's a great deal to get these simple page kits. And you have a very quick, easy, completed page just for $5.50. Excuse me, double page, not just a single page, but a double page. So I hope that you liked this. I'm going to switch back to my camera for just a second here. At least I hope I am. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will grab your own simple page kit. We're up to month 11. I do have some previous months available. There are a few months from this year also available online, but some of them have sold out online, so you would need to reach out to your advisor. And what else can I tell you? We're going to have Black Friday specials coming up soon. We're not exactly sure when yet, but I do know that last year they previewed early in November. So it's probably not going to wait until Thanksgiving weekend, but I do appreciate your support of my small business. I know that's kind of what Small Business Saturday is about, the day after Black Friday. So I hope I hope you all have a great Halloween, and I hope to see you next week for another edition of Kristi's Cropping and Creating. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button. Please comment and subscribe to my channel so that I can reach more and more people. And happy cropping. Y'all take care.